Welcome, welcome. I so love seeing all my dear friends here today with us, and especially Evelyn Mulders. It's been a while since we've been able to see each other in person. And so, Evelyn, I want to talk about you in terms of our experience together, but also I want to get in, a little bit of your of who you are in the process. So, you, oh, you are such an exquisite fabricator of the most delightful essences. Please tell us how you came to formulate sound essence. Like, what was the very first story that brought you into sound essence?
I'll make it the skinny version. I was studying herbology and vibrational medicine with a scholar from Berkeley, California, who ran away from there to go to live in the woods. And my first experience with her, because I was so left brained, was she blindfolded me and put me into the forest and said, "Find your way back to the house." So that was my first introduction into listening to nature and to get connected. So one evening she put together an event and she hired a woman that was the crystal bowl keeper. And there was about 50 of us all stuffed into a log cabin in the wilderness up at the Shuswap. And after the woman had played the bowls, I think we were there for a couple hours. I knew that every cell in my body had changed. I wasn't sick or wasn't ill. I just knew that in that moment, I felt so blissful. I felt so calm. Everything was fired up. I was alert. I was, yeah, just in my heart space. And I wanted that for my clients in my clinic. So the next morning when we regrouped, I said, teacher, how do you bottle that? I want to take it home to my clinic. And she says, "I have no idea, Evelyn." She says, "That's up to you." And so it took a couple of years. And with my engineering background, I was thinking about all kinds of complicated things, but I came right back to the bowls. So I programmed water with the crystal bowls, brought the programmed water home, and I was intuited to add certain things to each of the jars. And it took me 2 years to figure out that I had included the 7 vibrations for the 7 senses for the 7 chakras. So that was the beginning of the journey. I thought that was my only job, but lo and behold, here we are 23 years later. I'm still creating remedies.
Well, I've been privileged to be in your house and to see all those jars sitting around with all that stuff in them.
You never know what's in them, right? Mhm.
It's been so much fun to watch this process. And so, through that miraculous, total spirit guided adventure that we went on when we first met through having the Archangel Blessings Miss, oh my God. So, so let's start with, so now we have sound essence and we have the first three. We've got the meridians, the chakras, the auras.
Yeah, so we've got up until I met you, I
Mm-hmm.
was working with the idea that sound essence could support three, um, how would you say, dimensions. The physical with the meridians, because the meridians run up and down the body, and the chakras are in the front and the back of the body, so they're the emotional. And then the auric field was at that time my spiritual with the connection with side to side. So 3 dimensions, up and down, side to side, and front and back. And then, well, with the archangels, everything just opened up completely. You're showing us the ladder of ascension. Now, this 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 piece of work, I studied with you for an entire weekend. I did all your meditations. I was a good student. But I knew the whole time I was sitting there that there was a very special gift coming to me that day. And it was the last hour of your workshop that you put up the ladder of ascension and you talked about these 7 rungs and you labeled them body, emotion, mind, inner senses. I think you had psychic layer, but we changed it to inner senses, soul, divinity, and source. And my brain just exploded. I was so excited to see this because within seconds, I already had everything all organized, that the meridians looked after the physical chakra, the auric field. And then I think at that time we'd already created the archangel blessings and we knew that they were in the hologram. So what came after the archangel blessings was the fourth dimension. I thought I was working with the assemblage point with the intuition, but that has now changed, and we've got the heart tones for that. So this ladder of ascension was literally a map for sound essence, and unknown for me. I had no idea that it was a system to follow. So thank you so much for that gift.
Well, you were talking about the meridians being the up and down and the chakras being the back and forth. So I thought I'd just pop this up in here because it's just so juicy. And so there we were in that class. So many firsts haven't happened for me in Kelowna. I taught the first Archangel blessings live there in Kelowna. I'd done them through Zoom calls, but I never had the just amazing, miraculous experience of feeling the transformation live and in person in the room. So when we did those Archangel blessings in person, it just blew me away, the power of them. And, so for me, I was getting them maybe the fourth or fifth time. And I could feel how each time you did those activations, they throttled up. The vibration increased, the joy increased, the ecstasy, the love increased every time. It was such a beautiful experience. And then I was looking at you, at your sound essences, at the meridians and the chakras. Here we are back to the aura, and playing with those and feeling those, and just it just popped out of my mouth. Evelyn, you got to make one of these. You got to make these for these archangel blessings, these archangel activations. And that started us on a whole ecstatic odyssey of adventure. You want to talk about that?
Well, I was on the ski hill with all my muggle friends, and you know what I'm talking about, non-magical folk. And I get this phone call, and I don't even know why I picked up my phone with my cold hand, but I got this call from this woman I had never met. I didn't put two and two together that you were the creator of the cards that I had been using for many years. And you said, Archangel Michael has been sitting in the car seat, and he's told me that the angels are now ready to be in this dimension, and we no longer have to look up at them. And so you can imagine me with my ski gear on the chairlift going, this call I might need to take a little later. But I was so curious. I sent everybody off. And there I am at the top of the ski hill listening to everything you said. And I remember skiing down the hill to the cabin going, oh, something big is going to happen here. And that's how that started. And we did talk. And you had shared with me that you had are they benedictions or invocations with the angels?
The activations.
Activations.
Yeah.
And that each one of them, you created a beautiful 3-hour journey with them. And you wanted people to be reminded of the vibration after they'd gone through their activations. And I remember saying to you, Kimberly, I honest to goodness know nothing about angels. And you ever so gently said, but you can learn. And we'll start with the activations. And you did send me the files, and they were so precious to me. I got all shaky inside when I got them, that I knew that this job was bigger than for just me. So I invited 3 metaphysical friends, and we gathered together and we did the activations. And oh my gosh, the journey that we went on was amazing.
Yes. So then, after you had the activations, then how do you get that into a bottle?
I didn't know that yet either. And so you had mentioned something about meridians and chakras. And so that just sat in the back of my mind. Of course, I'd already created the meridian essences, the chakra essences in the auric field band, but I had no idea how I was going to find the vibration for the angels. You want me to go ahead and tell you about how that all happened?
Oh, yes, please.
So I'm on a 9-week, I'm going to call it a couch surfing trip throughout Europe. I'm going to a Dowsers conference. I'm a presenter there. I'm going to a Body Mind Spirit Expo, actually 2 of them. Did book signings in Italy. So I'm just traveling through, and whoever put me up, one of the sponsors, I think I spent 5 nights in a hotel room in those 9 weeks. So I was really well taken care of. And I was in Geneva. And a really well-known kinesiologist there said, well, now that I have you here, she says, let's give each other a balance. I said, for sure. And what was fun going into all of the gals' spaces, because it was all healers, they would open up the cupboard and there'd be cell salts, aromatherapy, and sound essence. And I was like, yay. So anyways, in kinesiology, we find a muscle that indicates where the body needs balancing. And so we have specific muscles for specific organs. And for this particular time, she found that my liver meridian was off, and that's the pectoralis. I'll just show it. So she was testing it and it had no power. So she brought it back again and she tested it. She did 7 times up and 7 times down. So I asked her, I says, why are you testing the same muscle 14 times? Oh, she says, I'm looking for the object meridian. And then in each one of these positions represents a reference meridian. She says, when you find the intersection point of the object and the reference, she says, you pinpoint it, you offer it healing, and you can shift the DNA imprint in your body. My jaw dropped. I said, no. She says, yeah, that's what we've been doing as energy kinesiologists, bioenergetic practitioners, we have to be called in Canada. And I said, okay, well, if you guys are working with the meridians doing that, why wouldn't you want to do the same thing with the chakras and the same thing with the auric field band? You see, I had the 3 dimensions in place by now. She says, I don't think anybody's thought of that. I said, come on, with all the kinesiologists, surely somebody has. She said, no. So I had to wait till I got back to Canada, phoned a colleague of mine, and her and I sat in a hotel room for 2 days, discovering the hologram. And we went further on to discover that there is an intersection point, which takes you into 5th dimension if you work with an intersection point with the meridians and chakras. So that was just an idea then. So now we got to put this into practice. So every time we meet with somebody, we're offering them not just 1 mist, but 2 mists. I take this to a trade show in Vernon, and my posse, they're checking in and they're going, this is way deeper, Evelyn. This just takes us expansive. So I come back home from that and I'm driving by Calmalco Lake, the lake of many colors. I swear that Ariel swims there every day. And I go, that's what Kimberly's looking for. It's the archangels are the intersection point of the meridians and chakras. Even though in our 3-dimensional mind, we can't really sort that, in the 5th dimension, it totally makes sense. So there you have it. So busy making the remedies, and oh yeah, I never forget that day. I was so excited, and I think I sent you a sample box, and then I got a screamer back.
I've got that sample box. I was just looking at it. Anyway, I don't have it here, but it was so cute.
Yeah, they were incepted.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember that I got it while I was at a trade show. And I was at my booth, and so I was testing them out for the first time at this trade show in this, big open cavernous 10,000 people trade show. Testing them and going, oh, oh, oh. It was such a sweet moment.
So that was March of 2015, and your call was January or February of 2013. And I remember calling you 6 months later and saying, Kimberly, I still don't know anything about angels. Nobody's gifted me an angel figurine. No angel books have fallen off the shelf. Like, that's sort of normal for me if I'm to move into that direction. And I remember you saying, I've got the right person. It's just the time. And finally, in 2015, I was doing more research on the hologram and the archangels. And Jim Self, I've got his quote somewhere, said, the archangels weren't ready to come onto the earth until 2015. So it wouldn't have mattered, Kimberly, how hard we would have tried for those 2 years. they weren't ready to come. So that in itself was an awareness.
So giving me the activations a little early actually helped to open the door for them to come in. And they talked about that. So, I've got my Archangel Healing book, and let's see if I can find that page, because they talked about it. They said, "We have come to activate secret energy centers in your body and being to allow you to connect with us more fully." So, I'm thinking it's my side, but from the Jim Self quote, what he said, I didn't realize that we had to be open for them to be able to come through. So I had no idea how important these activations were. So they went on to say, think of these centers like radio receivers. We are powering up the energy centers to allow you to receive and transmit our signal, like tuning a radio into our frequency or station. I love this part. Our frequency or signal cannot be received by ordinary equipment. That's what we had. We had ordinary equipment. Our frequency is blocked until the individual reaches the level of evolution and spiritual understanding needed to work with us. You are ready. And so these activations were a part of opening that ability for the archangels to enter Earth and be here with us. How cool is that?
Profound.
So let's come back to this object reference intersection in the hologram. And I'm a little embarrassed to admit that I've forgotten how to do it because I haven't used it for a while. And, silly me, I forget. And I forgot this treasure. So can you walk us through how you do the object and the reference intersection, Evelyn?
Well, I can, but the subject today is the archangels, and they already have them in them. The object was the chakra, and the reference was the meridian. And I mean, I don't remember which ones were which for each of the remedies, but it's all listed on the bottle and in the charts. And so I think we could just work with the protocol as it is.
Okay. Beautiful. So I'm looking at Archangel Michael as an example, and here in really, really tiny little writing, it says that the liver meridian and the root chakra are a part of this.
So the root chakra is all about grounding and stability and holding your own power. Mm-hmm. And the liver is all about transformation.
Mm-hmm. That's Michael for sure. That's Archangel Michael for sure. So let's go through the protocol then, shall we?
Let's do it.
We have a couple of fun things to help. So Evelyn made these beautiful, beautiful cards up for us.
Do you want me to hold mine up because you're getting blurry?
Yeah. That helps us through. Yeah. And so if you want to play with us, this is a great way for everybody to play with us. What I'd like you to do is to beautiful. So hold in your heart something that you want to work on for today. Like, what is it that you're working on that you need some help with, some angel help with? So the first thing is you tune in to something that you need help with. And if you have a pendulum, you can take the card, and there's a percentage meter on here. So let's see if I can do this. Evelyn, can you do it so people can see? Oh, look at you. Oh man, you're much better set up than me. Okay. So yeah, there we go. Yep. So
shall we do it as a collective?
Yeah, let's do it as a collective. Beautiful. Thank you. So feeling the collective energy. So our starting point is what is okay?
So I'm guessing here about 65%.
Okay, that's a really good strong starting point. It often for me is down around 20 or 30. Okay, so 65% is our start.
Okay, well here let's put some stress on that. Now,
Okay.
collectively, we'll all think about something that we'd like to have that we don't already have. Something like you said that the angels can help us with. So if everybody puts that in their focus at the moment, I'll recheck.
Okay. Okay.
So in the clear, we were at 65, but now we're really looking for some action. We're down to about 10.
10. Yep, that's often where we start. Beautiful. Okay, you done good, everybody. We're feeling you. We're feeling you. Okay, so the next thing is we select the Archangel blessing, which is, looks like Metatron or Gabriel. It's hard for me to see from here.
Gabriel.
Gabriel. Okay, Gabriel. So if you have your Gabriel spray, get it out. If you don't, you can just feel through us. This is amazing how this actually works. So you tap, tap, tap. And why are we tap tapping, Evelyn?
You're activating the vibration and you're attuning yourself to it, and it's attuning to you.
Okay. Then take off your glasses if you have it. And we want to lightly mist around our face. So like this. Breathing in. And just hang out with it and breathe. So breathe with me because you can receive through the magic.
And I'm sending the vibration to all those that don't have the misters with them.
Beautiful. And you just hang out with it and feel it. So notice how you feel. How are you changing? What do you know? What do you sense? And just hang with it. Let it develop. Let it shift. Let it sink in. And stay with it. Keep feeling. Let it fully reveal itself. That's it. Oh, relax into it now. And listen, feel inside yourself. Is there a knowing or a message or an image? And keep going with it. And allow the transformation to happen. And keep trusting. And let your face smile. And you may be feeling lighter or joyful or more loving. Or more healed, healthy, clear, open, receptive. Just stay with that. Feel it, whatever it is. Let your heart and spirit open to receive more. Can you feel your radiant spirit glowing with delight, love, and joy? And Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, is about our spiritual destiny. And we are having the opportunity to know more, to feel more, to become more receptive, to become more open to our destiny, to our divine plan, to our soul purpose, our life purpose. And sometimes that's so simple. Our life purpose is to live more joyfully, more lovingly, more kindly in everything that we do. Sometimes our soul purpose is to be a healing presence for others. Or to be a safe zone where people can share what's truly in their hearts. And sometimes that is to be in service in some way. Or to create and develop products and programs and things that help benefit other people. Sometimes it's in our quiet prayer work, our altar work. Sometimes it's with our family, sometimes it's with a community, sometimes it's with the world. But it's perfect for you. Gabriel helps us to recognize our superpowers that we have to fulfill our soul purpose, our life purpose. We've been given just the perfect gifts. And those gifts are often so natural that we can't recognize them. Like maybe it's natural for you to just be a bubbling fountain of joy. Maybe it's natural for you to be compassionate. Maybe people just come to you to talk because you're the safe one to talk to. Maybe you have healing gifts. And when you listen, people just feel healed. Maybe your prayers are powerful. Your altar work is powerful. So whatever it is, your superpowers are perfect for you. And you are fulfilling your soul calling. So let yourself just one more time be open to a little bit more peace, joy, understanding, recognition. Another message? Another healing or opening or feeling? And our affirmation for Archangel Gabriel is, I am in alignment with divine will. So repeat that after me. I am in alignment with divine will. And when you're ready, when you feel that, and you're ready, open your eyes and come back to us. How was that, Evelyn?
That was beautiful, Kimberly. Thank you. To spend that time with it and just really feel it and how the heart opens and receives it. It's gorgeous.
These are so amazing to me. I discovered that the very first time I used them there in that wild and crazy, loud, confusing, cacophonous trade show that I was in Oregon. And I first sprayed them and it just kept unraveling. So I hung out with them. I took time with them. I let it keep unraveling. And each one of them kept taking me through different phases of opening for at least 5 minutes. And, we were tempted to just go psh, psh,
Yeah.
and move on, and not hang out with it. It's that being present with it. It's lingering with it. It's feeling and observing and enjoying the shifts in inner state that happen, that is just so powerful and delightful and healing and illuminating with these amazing mists that you've created, Evelyn. They are surely bits of divinity here on earth.
Well, with all the right interjections with your words and the affirmations is very powerful.
Mm. Yeah. So I would love to take some sharing from people.
Well, I want to finish the protocol
Oh
first.
yes. Oh yes. I'm sorry. I got distracted here. Okay. So
You
we're
on
back
track.
on the protocol.
We have to thank the angels.
Thank the angels. Yes. Listen for a message. Okay. Thank you.
And
So,
now think about what you wanted from the angels or what your heart's desire is.
mm,
And then we'll remeasure the vitality. And just think about how you feel now compared to when you first had the thought, when you first put out your request, when you first put out your feeling. And how has that changed through Gabriel? There you go. When it pendulum does a circle, I call it the happy dance. Okay. All right, go ahead, Kimberly.
so we went from 10% energized to over 100% happy dance with one spray that you didn't even get, half of you, in person anyway. You got it energetically. And we went through that amazing transformation. And you just blow me away, Evelyn, that you were able to put that in a bottle. Blows me away.
I didn't do it.
So we thank Archangel Gabriel and all the archangels for this because, oh, what a beautiful experience. Yep. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just holding up Gabriel while I was putting him back in his
Yeah.
slot.
Yeah. You made these for us.
Mm.
Since we travel and use them, I love these. Yeah, Gabriel. So this is the 60 milliliter size. And this is the 15 milliliter pocket size. Yeah, yeah. So they're so wonderful. You can get just the one you need. I brought out Metatron so you could see it comes with this nice card with all this information on what's in the activation, what are the affirmations, what are the qualities. And of course there's the 15 milliliter kit with all 7 in there in this beautiful cedar cylinder. I love these. I'm so glad you were able to get them again. And then get the whole 60 milliliter set comes in this lovely box, so you can peek through the windows and see them all in there. So these are the bigger bottles. And there's some funness that comes in both of these. When you open them up, there are secrets. This thing is amazing. I love this. So you open this up. And this beautiful scroll contains information on the activations themselves, plus each one of the archangels. And on the back is the other archangels, plus on the bottom this was so much fun. We had so much fun with this. So let's go to Gabriel. Are you hearing the calling of your spiritual mission? Are you living upward into your soul destiny? Do you give thanks for the opportunities life gives you? Do you feel confident that you are enough? Are you open to receive the bounty from Spirit needed to fulfill your life purpose? Are you a beacon of light guiding others to truth and love? Can you hear the heavenly choirs singing joy as you acknowledge your gifts? So one fun game is you can score these on a scale of from 1 to 5, each how you feel each one, and then add them up and check your score. And then as you work with Gabriel over time, see how your score changes. So thank you, Evelyn, for those wonderful little fun little bits that we put in here.
You are welcome. My pleasure.
Oh, what fun. And also, this is all in the Archangel Healing Activations workbook. So as you look at each of the angels, let's find Gabriel in here since he's our beloved for the day. Gabriel, here he is. It's actually a soul star activation with the soul star over our heads guiding us into our destiny. So this gives the actual activation itself here in writing. Those questions, it talks more about what elements are in this incredible spray. So as an example, the attributes are our soul calling, remembrance, and our destiny. And the color is call this Mother Mary blue. This is the color of blue that Mother Mary often manifests herself wearing. Sometimes white with that blue in a cloak or a shawl or a drape of some sort. The gemstone is blue sodalite. Can you tell us a little bit about blue sodalite, Evelyn?
I'm not really a great gem person, but the sodalite, just with the color itself, it's a soft blue, and it helps a little bit with the throat. So speaking your truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So the first affirmation is, I am living my soul's purpose. And the second affirmation is, I am a beacon of shining light. I love that one. So if you want to repeat that with me, I am a beacon of shining light. Yeah. And the theme is messenger, because Gabriel's the messenger who delivers the message of our divine plan, our destiny. The aroma is sage, sandalwood, tangerine, and vanilla. Do you remember anything about those, Evelyn?
So the aromatherapy, okay, your Archangel blessings were created in divinity. I was at a conference and it was lunchtime, and I was speaking to just one of the other attendees. And I said, do you know anybody that's an aromatherapist? I'm gathering some things, and I mean, I've intuited the chakras and the aura harmonizers, but the angels, I got to tell you, it was a lot of pressure. I wanted to get them really right. I says, I'm embarking upon a new project, and I'd really like an official aromatherapist. And the woman pointed to the woman across the table, and she says, you're looking at her. And so talk about timing. And so I got connected with her, and I was working on the Meridian project at that time. And so we sorted out what we wanted for the meridians. And then, of course, many years passed. And I phoned her up and I said, I've got another project for you. She says, I know, it's your angels. She says, I have them all ready for you.
I love
So,
that.
and how she even knew which ones that you had chosen. And so I went to her place and we went through them, and I got to smell each one of them, and I was just blown away. I would never have been able to. I'm not an aromatherapist. I'm an energy kinesiologist. So those blends are amazing. For example, Raphael, he's the healing hands. So he's got a little bit of eucalyptus, I think maybe some rosemary, but you can smell healing when you open up the bottle. Metatron's got a little patchouli in it, and so it's kind of a little bit more serious. Like Metatron's like, we need to get this work done. We've got stuff to do, and let's get into the brain, because we can't always follow the heart. Like Metatron's always, working with sacred geometry and so on. And then you have Shamuel, and it's just, ooh, like this, just easy, calming the heart. And then Uriel's got a little bit of rose in it, and it just definitely takes you right to the light. So what she created, I totally give her credit for the blends. I follow her recipe exactly. I don't change anything. So we've got rose and sandalwood, all of the real deep, precious aromatherapies in there.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I love hearing that. So the herb is motherwort, and I just put some motherwort in my garden, I'm happy to say. So I've got that motherwort influence in my garden. The sound is the heart meridian tone in the note G sharp. And then the holographic intersection is the heart meridian with the throat chakra, which feels so right. It's speaking our destiny from our hearts, knowing from our hearts and speaking from our hearts. How beautiful.
G sharp is I'll just take you on a little journey. The whole notes, people are more familiar with the whole notes. And one day I walked past a piano and I was like, wait a minute, there's ebony and ivory. What are we going to do with the ebony? And I kept asking, how did the half tones fit into the chakra system? And I researched, nobody had discovered it. And I thought maybe there were other chakras like the hand chakras, or you talk about the soul star chakra. So I thought maybe the semitones were activating those chakras. But after 2 years of asking the question, I finally was given the information that the semitones are the intersection spots in the spine. I mean, they did give me a complete holographic picture of it, and I had to ask the guides to say, I can't explain this. I'm still in 3 dimension. I'm speaking to 3 dimensional people. You have to give me the information in 3 dimensions so people will understand what I'm saying. I'm already considered a little bit, off center. So let's keep this a little bit together, grounded. So at the intersection of the spine, so I don't have a picture of a spine here, but you have the sacrum, it's fairly wide, and then you go to the lumbar. So that's the midpoint between the root chakra and the sacral chakra. I'll stand up, I'll give you sort of a demonstration because it's a little easier to see. So you know that the root chakra is here and the sacral chakra is right in line with the hips. Well, if I go to the back, the midpoint is where the sacrum meets the lumbar. So then they go from the sacrum to the solar plexus. The halfway point is right at the bottom of the rib cage. So that's E flat. There is no half tone between E and F, but once you get between F and G, the midpoint is where the thoracic spine meets the cervical spine. And if you think about all the places where you have tension, you got low back pain, middle back pain, neck pain, and then I'll just finish it off so that you're complete. So then from the throat to the brow, the midpoint is right at the base of your skull. And then from brow to crown, it's right here at the top of your head. So these transitional aspects are really important. They represent stages in our life. And so why I shared all that with you is that they fortify the chakra energy. So if your area of concern is in the throat chakra area, working with G and G sharp brings that holistic approach to that yin yang approach for that chakra. G sharp is, you already know what your life's path is, but it's time to walk your walk. So that's what's in Gabriel. You get your message and you bring it to the world. And being grounded with is that what it was, the root chakra or heart chakra? Are we talking about Gabriel?
Gabriel, yeah.
So yeah, the meridian essence was working with the heart meridian, and G sharp. So yeah, that's quite a story just in its own self, coming from the heart and speaking and sharing from the heart, walking your walk and talking your talk, shining the light, just like you said.
Yeah, I am a beacon of shining light. Yeah, yeah, beautiful. I thank you, Evelyn. I'd forgotten all that. And so when I was receiving the activations, they would say, we're activating this aspect of this chakra. Okay, now in another one, okay, now we're activating this other aspect of this same chakra. And I thought, aspects, okay, cool. How many could there be? And I think there's actually quite a few.
The hologram.
And so we're getting a taste of those aspects or those intersections between. Here we are back to the intersection between the chakra and the meridian. We're getting a taste of those intersections in these activations that are just extraordinary. Oh, beautiful.
So once we created the essences, the archangel blessings, I was curious. Of course, I'm always curious. I wanted to really see how they worked, comparing them to the other essences. So I brought in an Aura Star reader, and I had her set up, and I had quite a stream of mostly women coming through every 15 minutes to get a reading before. Then we'd choose which of the archangel blessings the person wanted, miss them, and leave it for a few minutes, and then they would go back to the Aura Star reading. So the Aura Star reading gives you a picture of your auric field, and it also gives you a gradation, I guess you would say, numerical values for each of the chakras, and there's a scale that you want to be in. And so with the numerical values, you don't want to be too high on one or too low on the other. You want to be in this framework all the way. And with the picture, you want to have good healing light around you. Well, we did that, and with each one of them, there was change, and in the most positive way. And the one person that I totally remember, when the Aura Star reader, she came over like this, and I know a little bit about the machine, and she says, "Look here." And I says, "What are you seeing?" And she says, "Parasites in the body." I said, "Yeah, I see that too." And you can see that it's a vibration. Anybody that does radionics, that sort of thing, you could pick up those lower vibrations too in the body. And so she had, I think it was Raphael was hers, if I remember correctly. And when she did the second reading, the parasites were completely gone. I mean, even that blew my mind away, that when you're working in the etheric or in the hologram, how fast of an impact you can have on the physical body. I mean, we know that, but we forget it. And so I got to see it. I was really impressed.
Wow. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. Yeah. Oh, it's amazing how when we shift the energy in our energy field, our body just goes along with it. And that's what energy healing is all about. We shift the energy and our body can heal. We shift our beliefs and our consciousness and our life can change. So that's what these archangel essences help us to do. They help us to have physical healings, emotional healings, to heal our beliefs, to elevate our thoughts, and to be able to explore other parts of ourselves that are just brilliant and beautiful and loving and kind.
Well, that's really the message of the hologram. I mean, each one of the dimensions has its own purpose, but when I was really delving into the meaning of the hologram, unity consciousness, like how often do we get to say that word? What does it actually even mean? That means that I got to love everybody around me. I have to have an open heart. And it makes me giggle because you can get to those places from time to time, but in our three-dimensional world, it doesn't feel like when I go to the grocery store that I'm going to have my hologram intact. So this idea of coming and opening up the heart and being able to stay in that open heart space, and that was what I understood about fifth dimension, is when you get there you can manifest anything. It's just it's an oasis.
So we had a question, what is the hologram?
You go first.
Oh,
I'll jump in.
thank you.
So I still don't quite understand the hologram, and there's a ton of research to be done on it. Like I said, we are three-dimensional beings. We're living in three dimensions here. So this fifth dimension is something beyond us. But have you ever been in a place where you're looking at something and your whole body just feels like it's glowing. For me, this one time, I don't know how it happened, but I'm standing on a water ski dock. I'm a competitive water skiing, and this particular time I was with all men, and I was in this place, and each one of those men that I looked at, and I've known them all for years, I could have loved them. Like they were my brothers. Like, oh, he's so wonderful and he does this and he's so wonderful and he does this. And it was only a nanosecond. I had to snap myself out of it because I was in this heart space on the water ski dock and I was supposed to be water skiing instead of being in my unity consciousness place. But we get there when we're looking in nature. We get there when we're looking at a flower. We look at the intricacies of the flower, and the flower is sending the vibration to us. That's the hologram. And if I could explain it in that three-dimensional ladder, you want to throw that up for a second. The meridians get their information from light. They're light channels. And the chakras get their information from color and sound. That's how they transmit their healing vibrations onto our body. Working with the auric field band, we get our information through sacred geometry. Every, excuse me, every plant, every piece of grass, every star has its own sacred geometry, and our body is picking up that vibration. You might find yourself at one time just looking at an insect. And you're like, why am I staring at this insect? Well, that insect is giving you vibration to support your auric field band. And then we go into I say it's like a stepping stone into fifth dimension. It's the fourth dimension. This is the electromagnetic field, and it's two toric fields, and the intersection space is the heart. And so there's now remedies for the heart tones to help the heart bridge itself to get to the archangels. And so the archangels is pure love, and that's how we get the hologram working. And so if you want to look at the direction of flow, the meridians run up and down, and we said that before, chakras front and back, the auric field side to side. The toric field comes like a donut. It comes out around us, in through our heart, and then goes down below and then comes out us again. And there's two toroidal fields that create the tube torus. And that's our electromagnetism. And so we know, we can feel, that's where we get our perception. You get into a room and you're feeling the room out. You get close to somebody and you're already using your senses to pick up what you're feeling with that person. And when you finally get to the fifth dimension in the hologram, it's a reflection. And one of the things I should mention to you, you've probably seen my essences move through the chakras: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple, or violet. If you look at the archangel blessings, they start in opposite order. Michael is violet, Metatron is indigo, Gabriel is the light blue. Then we go to Raphael, which is green. So they're reversed because the archangels are in reflection to us. They're above us and reflecting back. So that's the best I can do with the hologram, knowing that we need fourth dimension. You know you're in fourth dimension when you lose your keys and you knew you just put them down a second ago, or you look at the clock and no time has passed even though you think it's been 10 minutes, or the opposite is true. You get busy on a project, glance up and 2 hours have gone by. That's fourth dimension. And when you get into fourth dimension, you're really, really readying yourself to move into fifth dimension. And there is no time and space in fifth dimension. There's just pure love. And if you meet anybody that's living in fifth dimension, you can't catch them. They're like a butterfly. They're in their heart center, and there's nothing that matters. Everything is just all okay with them. And I think I can close with that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, Evelyn. Thank you. Thank you. And it's normal to actually flow between the different realms so that we're able to function effectively in the world. Like if you're, like you were saying, if you're totally in your heart space doing competitive water skiing or balancing your checkbook or driving your car is it can be done, but you're in a really different space than you might actually need to be to complete the task at hand. And likewise, when we're suffering. You know, when we're suffering emotionally over something, if we can recognize that we're in our emotions, we're suffering in our emotions, and we have choice, we can change. We can get out of our emotions and go to a different state in order to um, release that suffering and come to a different place of peace or calm or happiness or joy or health within ourselves. So we have choice moving through the different realms of being.
And also choice in building the drama over that emotion. This is what the Chinese say about emotion. Like there's emotions going through all day long, but you pick one, and then you fortify it by telling a story about it, and you tell your friend about it. Then you defend it, and now it becomes a stuck emotion, and a stuck emotion will stay stuck in the meridian system, and that's where the imbalance comes. If you allow the emotion, witness it, enjoy it for the 5, 10, maybe a day, enjoy it for the day, but don't build a drama about it to say, okay, today I'm feeling bored. And well, I haven't felt bored for ages. Okay, well, enjoy feeling bored. Let it go and let another one come in. And that's staying with that yin and yang flow. The Chinese say you can never experience sorrow without, or can never experience joy without feeling sorrow. So whenever I go through one of those negative emotions, I embrace it and go, wow, that means on the other hand, I'm going to experience that even in a bigger way sometime. Yeah.
Yeah, we're living in a world of duality. That's what we do. We flow. So flow, that's the key word, flow. And the beautiful part is that all of your essences and the archangels help us to be in that state of flow to uh, the um, the best of who we are, to our greatest potential. So I thank you, Evelyn, for this beautiful creation that you made for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for asking the question. Can you make archangel blessings?
So, with that, we're going to close up here. I want to thank everybody for being such a beautiful part of this experience we've had together. It's been such a joy to see you and feel your energy, to feel your love. And we'll connect again soon. So, thank you so much, Evelyn. You are a joy and a blessing and very precious.